March 2022. A small mountain town in Utah. A husband and father of 3 collapses in his own bed. His wife tells police they'd shared a celebratory drink that night for her real estate business. By morning, he's gone. An overdose, it looks like. Tragic, but not unheard of, in a state living through an opioid crisis like every other. Nobody looks twice, not yet. A year later, this same woman stands in front of a television camera, smiling, holding up a book. A children's book about grief, about how to keep living after you lose someone you love. She wrote it, she says, to help her own 3 sons process losing their father. 1 month after that interview aired, she was arrested for his murder. His name was Kouri Richins. Her name is Kouri Richins. They married in Utah and built a life together in Kamas, a small town near Park City. 3 young sons, a business, a house on a lot of land. Eric ran a successful construction supply company. Kouri ran her own real estate business. From the outside, prosecutors would later say it looked like a stable, comfortable family. From the inside, it was anything but. By late 2021, Kouri's real estate business was collapsing under debt. Prosecutors would later put the number near $8 million. She was also, according to phone records later shown at trial, having an affair. Eric had no idea any of this was happening beneath the surface of his marriage. On Valentine's Day, 2022, 10 days after a life insurance policy on Eric went into effect, Kouri brought him a sandwich. He ate part of it. Within minutes, according to what he told 2 friends afterward, he felt like he was going to die. He used his own son's EpiPen. He drank an entire bottle of Benadryl. He broke out in hives. "I think my wife tried to poison me," he told one friend, once he was able to speak again. The day after, according to text messages later shown to the jury, Kouri wrote to someone else entirely. If he could just go away, life would be so perfect. Prosecutors would later argue this wasn't the moment Kouri decided to kill her husband. It was the moment she learned how not to. According to trial testimony, she went back to the person prosecutors say supplied her drugs, the family's housekeeper, and asked for something stronger. The dose in a sandwich, prosecutors argued, gave him time to notice and time to save himself. She wouldn't make that mistake again. A few weeks later, Eric and Kouri shared a drink at home, celebrating, she would later tell police, an achievement in her real estate business. A lemon drop shot, a Moscow mule. That night, Kouri Richins went to bed and never woke up. The next morning, Kouri Richins reported her husband dead. An autopsy would later find a lethal dose of fentanyl in his system. Prosecutors said, at trial, roughly 5 times what it would take to kill him. Not a mistake, not a slow overdose. An amount, one prosecutor told the jury, meant to make sure. For a moment, it looked exactly like what it was designed to look like. A young father, in a state where opioid deaths were already tragically common, gone too soon. Nobody arrested Kouri Richins that week, or that month. In the year after Eric's death, Kouri Richins wrote a children's book. Prosecutors would later reveal at trial that she paid a ghostwriter to help produce it. A story meant to help children, like her own 3 sons, process the death of a parent. She promoted it publicly. A month before her arrest, she appeared on a Salt Lake City morning show to talk about the book and about grief and about moving forward as a family. While she was doing that, investigators were quietly building a case. They'd been looking, since Eric's death, at what didn't add up: a fresh life insurance policy. a Valentine's Day poisoning that almost worked, deleted phone data, text messages, a search history that, prosecutors said, included queries about women's prisons in Utah in the months after her husband died, not before. In May 2023, Kouri Richins was arrested and charged with aggravated murder. The book was still on shelves. The trial opened in Park City, Utah, in early 2026, nearly 4 years after Eric's death. Over 3 weeks, the state called almost 40 witnesses, family members, investigators, forensic scientists, the housekeeper who prosecutors said supplied the fentanyl, and the man Kouri was allegedly involved with during the marriage. No witness could say, directly, how the fatal dose entered Eric's body. There was no confession, no video, no single moment caught on camera. The case was built entirely on circumstance. Cell phone data placing the right people in the right places at the right times, financial records, the Valentine's Day attempt, and Kouri's own words, in texts and in a letter she wrote from jail to her brother that prosecutors said was coaching him to testify Eric had gotten the drugs from Mexico. Kouri Richins did not testify. Her defense called no witnesses at all. Their entire argument was that the state's case was built on assumption, not proof. In closing arguments, the prosecutor laid out what he believed the final night looked like. Fentanyl in a shot glass. Fentanyl in a cocktail. By the time Eric would notice the shot was in, it was in his body, he told the jury. Moscow Mule, just to be good and sure. The defense countered that this was theater, not evidence. Argument is not evidence, the defense attorney told the jury, and that the state had spent 3 weeks building a story it couldn't actually prove. The jury disagreed. On March 16, 2026, they found Kouri Richins guilty on every count: aggravated murder, attempted criminal homicide for the Valentine's Day poisoning, 2 counts of fraudulent insurance claims, and forgery. Kouri Richins was sentenced in May 2026 to life in prison without the possibility of parole. At sentencing, prosecutors reiterated what they'd told the jury. This was a woman who wanted, in the words of one prosecutor, the perfect life, or at least the appearance of one, and who chose to end her husband's life rather than lose the version of it she'd built for the outside world to see. Eric's family and friends, who had sat through all 3 weeks of testimony, embraced each other in the courtroom as the sentence was read. Eric Richens spent his last months believing his wife had made one mistake with a sandwich, not realizing she was learning from it. And in the year after his death, while investigators quietly built the case that would convict her, his own children were being handed a book about grief, written, prosecutors say, by the person who caused it. Eric was a father, a business owner, and a man who told a friend the truth the moment he was strong enough to speak it. A truth it would take investigators years to prove. His name was Eric Richens. Remember him that way. If anything in this story feels familiar, in your life or in someone else's, the National Domestic Violence Hotline is 1-800-799-7233. You can also text START to 88788. Which case should I cover next? Tell me in the comments. I read every one, and some of the cases on this channel came straight from them. If you're new here, this is the evidence room. 1 case a week, walked through the way a jury would see it. The evidence, in order, from the record. No speculation, no dramatization. Subscribe so the next case finds you. Take care of the people you love. I'll see you in the next video.